Hi there. Welcome to Conversations, where we seek to advance your leader and team excellence by discussing relevant topics that impact today's organizations. Welcome to the show. Hey there, leader, and welcome back to another episode of Practical Tips for the Countdown to the New Year. Today is December 31st, 2020, and whether you are listening to this today or after the new year, I believe what we are going to talk about today can help you year-round. So we started off our practical tips talking about a word for the year. So how many of you have taken the time to reflect on 2020, maybe looked at some of those themes or what you're really looking to accomplish, and connected a word that can help you have a roadmap and maybe help you decide what you're going to say yes to this year and what you are going to say no to in the new year. And then we talked about intention. We looked at what is something that you need to leave behind so that you can move forward into our new year with strength and confidence. And then yesterday we talked about looking forward and commitment. And so perhaps you've chosen your word for the year. You're leaving something behind. You've given yourself permission to do that. And now you're committing to doing in the new year. So what is one thing that you are going to commit to? And remember, we talked about, we're not talking about New Year's resolutions because only about 8% of the 60% of you that make those end up being with success. So we're not talking New Year's resolutions here. But we're talking about still having actionable steps and really just small goals that you can celebrate. And then finally, as we end our 2020 series on practical tips for our countdown for the new year, we are ending with gratitude. And I am certainly grateful for each and every one of you who have tuned in to the podcast, Conversations for Leaders and Teams, or checked out us on our Bellum Leaders YouTube channel. For all of those who have connected with me on social media or as a business partner, as well as you, my beautiful client partners. I am just so appreciative of the time that I have been able to spend and partner with each and every one of you. And I hope that continues in the new year. But today we're going to talk about gratitude and how important gratitude is in our everyday life. So we're going to start with relationships. And here's a few things that we're going to want to ask yourself as you move forward. So what were maybe one or two of those close people that you connected with at work in 2020, or perhaps some new business relationships in 2020, or even maybe family members that you connected or reconnected with? So how were you able to show gratitude to those colleagues or your family members or close friends? And were you able to verbalize gratitude to those people? And then, of course, when we talk about gratitude, there's always that emotional component that's attached to it. So what about joy? Did you or were you able to experience any joy in 2020? And I know that there were so many things that have happened this year that we can still be grateful and encouraged by a lot that has happened. So did you give your self permission to look at 2020 and not just be a downer about it, but see what opportunities were you grateful for? Are you grateful for? And then did you give yourself permission? This is an important one because we can't always be so serious as leaders. Did you give yourself permission to laugh even in chaos? Even in that uncertainty, even in the worry or the tiredness, or maybe you weren't very courageous or brave or confident in 2020, but were you still able to find time to have joy and to laugh? Because you need to give yourself permission to laugh. And if you haven't, if you've been so serious throughout the year because of what you've experienced, there's still time. Tell yourself a joke and laugh. Sometimes we need to laugh at ourselves as leaders. I know that I need to do that. Then we're going to shift to accomplishments. And what was maybe a goal that you set for yourself during 2020? It doesn't have to be this magnificent, huge goal that maybe it was in front of you and that it was difficult to attain. But what about those small, everyday goals that perhaps you have for yourself that you can celebrate? We need to celebrate our goals, our accomplishments when we do attain them. And then let's talk about growth. What is something that you learned about yourself or about your leadership in 2020? We know that there were several opportunities to make changes within the year, maybe experience different feelings or emotions, maybe experience new relationships, new partnerships. I know that it was jam-packed with leadership lessons because I'm hearing it from the reflections of myself from the new year with what I experienced, but also the leaders that I communicate with. There are definitely learning experiences that took place. So reflect on those. And then we want to look at strength, because you know that I'm a strength enthusiast as a Gallup certified strengths coach. And so what was one of your strengths that you exercised or grew this year? And how can you make a connection between what you experienced in 2020 and what you needed to lean in and on and how you grew this year because of that? And then what are your plans to stretch your leadership development in 2021? So as a leader development coach and strategist, I'm always looking to position my clients for success. And it starts with understanding and having that self-awareness about yourself and insight and really creating a roadmap for those action steps. So when you think about this, you really want to think about what is one thing, at least one thing that you need to stretch your leadership in. And then how are you going to achieve that? So what are you going to connect as a leader development exercise or opportunity in order to connect with that development that you feel that you need to help you learn and grow in the new year? And then the very final thing that we're going to talk about, and a lot of people don't talk about this as a leader development skill or even competency, but it is important. And I write about this in my book, and it is something that I'm hoping that you will really take to heart this year. We know that collectively, the year of 2020 has had some unexpected surprises, both positive and negative. Maybe you didn't show up how you needed to during this time based on whatever the situation was. And there's always times when we can be really, especially as leaders, really hard on ourselves. And when I say leader, that could be you in the workplace. It could be you at home. And so today I'm asking you to take a look at how you showed up as your authentic self. And if you were surprised, were you proud of yourself how you showed up? Or were those some things that you would have changed or have changed and done differently? You may also have not treated your people in your organization the way that maybe they should have been treated, or your team, or even your family, because we know that families have been affected in a really big way. There's a new dynamic as people left their offices and ended up working at home. And that is truly, for those of you with families, especially with small children, I know how difficult that can be. So maybe there's some things within that maybe you aren't so happy with and how you acted or reacted. And so my encouragement to you is to extend forgiveness. Yes, I said forgiveness. Extend forgiveness to yourself if you need to offer it to yourself, if you need to offer forgiveness to somebody else, or even if you have to ask forgiveness to somebody who maybe needs to hear that from you today. So don't let the year, and if you're listening to this after the new year, don't let the day or the week end without extending that to yourself or to somebody else, because the competency of forgiveness or asking for forgiveness is truly the sign of a mature leader. It is a powerful, powerful way for your own personal as well as professional leadership. So, with that, I wish you a happy new year. I look forward to connecting more with each and every one of you. And please reach out if Bellum Leaders can help you with your leader development in the new year. We would love to partner and work with you. Until next time, this is Dr. Kelly Whalen. Keep doing great things because our world needs leaders like you.